Hey friends, Martin here, host of Dad's Bedtime Stories, and before we begin tonight, I just wanted to let you in on something new. As a father, storyteller, and educator, I know how powerful and important reading can be. And that is why I've started turning some of my listener favorite series into full books. Many of you know that my Cards of Power book is out already, and I just released Wizardcraft 2.0, a polished and expanded version of the Wizardcraft adventure, following a character named Oliver, named after my son, as he's pulled into a digital world where he has to build a village, master magic, and face the Wizard King. So if you're looking for a fun way to get your kid excited about reading, check it out. You'll find the link in my newest episode, or just search for Wizardcraft 2.0 by Martin Gage. And now, on to the episode. Hello, friends from across the nation and around the world. I'm Martin, and you are listening to Dad's Bedtime Stories. Tonight, we're going to be headed back into the Dragon Knight series. It's one of my favorite series right now, and I really wanted to continue because I feel like we have to defeat the Dragon King, or Dragon Thief, as many of you may know him. Again, if you haven't listened to the series before, this is a great place to start because it is kind of the story of one character in the Dragon Knight series. It'll make sense on its own. And if you like it, well, you can always go back and listen to the rest. The idea for tonight's episode largely comes to us from Autumn. Autumn wrote in quite a long time ago, wanting me to do a princess dragon in the Dragon Knight series. And at the time, I couldn't quite fit it in, but it got my brain working and thinking about how I might bring a princess dragon or something similar into the series. And this is kind of the idea that came to me. I mean, to be honest, it's more about a princess who has a dragon, the Dragon King's daughter. But it is a very necessary plot point for the rest of the series. So, big shout out to Autumn and Autumn's siblings for coming up with this idea and leaving me a comment on YouTube about it. And a shout out to Rowan, who came up with the name Eliara for my Cards of Power series, and I decided to use it for the dragon in this series as well. Now, it's that time again. Time to get as comfy as you can in those beds, close your eyes, and imagine yourself doing what the kid in the story does. Now, well, the Dragon King, or Dragon Thief as he was known to many, didn't seem like the nicest guys to those who fought against him. To his family, he was quite the opposite. A loving father to all of his kids, especially his eldest daughter, August, who was of course named for the season in which she was born. As the eldest daughter, August was trained from birth to become the Dragon King's successor, meaning that she grew up learning all of the Dragon King's spells. You see, before the Dragon King became the Dragon King, and before he became the Dragon Thief, he was simply a wizard. Many of you probably think of wizards as a wildly powerful and wildly special group of people. But in a world with dragon knights, who bestow incredible power upon their riders, wizards were second class. Well, dragon knights use the very powerful magical core of their dragons to perform spells linked to their specific element, of course. Unconnected humans could only use their own power source, their own very limited pool of mana. Certainly, they could learn to control all of the different elements, earth, fire, wind, water, nature, but their spells simply didn't have the same power behind them. The Dragon King grew up trying to change that, training his own mana core until it could become as powerful as possible, learning every single elemental spell he could, until he became one of the most powerful wizards ever. But he was still seen as second class. Compared to any elemental dragon knight, his power was nothing. That is until he found a very special spell, one hidden deep in an ancient book, one banned centuries before due to its dangerous nature. The control spell. A spell that allowed the user to link the brain of a subject to the brain of a master. One could use it to control other animals and to control other humans. From what he could tell, however, no one had ever used the spell to control a dragon. Something about dragons made them special. But that never stopped the Dragon King. He continued to practice the power on any animal he could find, any human who he didn't get along with so well. It gave him an increasingly powerful ability to scan the mind of those around him, to quickly find that part of the brain that could be connected to another, and to learn from it. And as he learned, he began to study the dragons around him. Eventually, he found out what made them special. Their natural magical link to humans. A link so powerful that the control spell wasn't able to take it over. The Dragon King began to experiment. There had to be some way to overcome this obstacle. And eventually, he discovered that too. The ability to block that signal, that connection to humans, and to replace it with a connection of control. The only downfall was that the connection wasn't as powerful as the natural one. It allowed a master to command a dragon, to force the dragon to use its own power, but it didn't allow the master to share that power itself, like the natural connection did. Nonetheless, the spell was powerful enough for the Dragon King to, completely take over the kingdom, one dragon at a time. One by one, he blocked the natural connection between dragon and rider, and turned the dragon on their riders. As he grew, he began to connect dragons to loyal friends of his, then loyal soldiers, until eventually he was able to take over the entire kingdom. The control spell wasn't the first one he taught to Autumn. No, she had many other things to learn first. Earth, fire, wind, water, air, and nature. Autumn was a natural with every single one of them. Of course, she was nowhere near as powerful as a dragon rider, but she could produce blasts of flame, bursts of air. She could lift water out of a pool, swirl it around, and even turn it to ice. She could even encourage plants to grow, and even to change their nature into different kinds of plants. The Dragon King decided that when Autumn turned 10, he would teach her the control spell, and then he would give her a dragon of her very own. When her 10th birthday came, he did just that. They started with a little bunny rabbit. teaching Autumn to reach out with her mental connection, to connect her mana to the exact part of the brain that controls behavior, and to hold the other end of it in her own mind. It only took Autumn a couple tries before she could command every animal that her father could bring. She learned to move that connection from her own brain to that of another, and very soon, the Dragon King felt that she was ready to choose an egg of her own, and ready to command that egg to follow her. "Now, Autumn," he said as they descended the stone staircase to the basement of the castle where all of the dragon eggs were kept. "Taming a dragon is a slightly different thing. Before you can connect to the dragon's mind, you must first naturally block its inherent connection. Normally, a dragon will only hatch when it feels its natural connection find a link. Though I've found other ways to sort of force the process. An infusion of the right type of energy will normally crack the shell and allow the dragon to come forth into the world. If you do not immediately block the connection, it will do everything in its power to find its dragon knight." "But I've never blocked a connection before," Autumn said. "What if, when the dragon's hatched, I can't figure out how to do it?" "Well, first, you are one of the most talented wizards I've ever met. I have full faith that you will figure it out. You learned every other spell much faster than I ever could. Even so, I will be there if that happens, and I will block the connection myself." "Okay, thanks, Dad," Autumn responded. "What kind of dragon do you think I'll get?" "Oh, I know what you will get. The dragon princess must have the most powerful dragon she can have, an elemental." They continued down the staircase until they arrived at a huge gate. The Dragon King used a glowing blue key to unlock the gate and swing it open. Inside was a gigantic stone room, covered in all sorts of dragon eggs of every different color, of every different element. The king led Autumn to the center of the room, where there were a few very interesting-looking eggs. Far fewer than any other element, but these eggs had multiple different colors running through them. Streams of green, red, blue, gray, and even green. "These are the elemental eggs," her father said. "Pick the one that you like the most. Use each of the elemental types at once and send that energy through the egg, forcing it to hatch." It didn't take long for Autumn to pick an egg, because somehow something guided her to the one directly in the center. A strange pull she'd never felt before. She reached her hand out toward the egg, but before she could even think to perform any kind of magic, she felt a strange connection in her mind one that felt a lot like the control spell, only nicer, more pleasant, more natural. Immediately, the egg began to crack. It burst open, and a tiny little dragonling jumped out. "You are my knight," the dragon said, and suddenly Autumn felt the energy pass through the dragon and into her. What is going on?" her father said. The dragon connected to you naturally?" Her father was shocked. For a moment, he didn't know what to do. So many different thoughts passed through his mind. Should he stop the connection and force the control spell on the dragon? But isn't this exactly what he'd always wanted? For him or, well, his children, to have a real connection to a dragon. And that's exactly what his daughter had just found. A connection more powerful than one he could ever have. And as much as it made him a little bit jealous inside, he decided not to fight it. After all, if things didn't work out, he could always just block the connection and take control of the dragon. Autumn wasn't sure, but she felt like the dragon gave her father a bit of the evil eye, glancing over at him with disdain or something like it. "Now, I'm hungry," the dragon said. "Do you have anything to eat?" Autumn looked at her father. "Follow me," he said, and together they headed back up the stone stairs out of the castle to get the dragon something to eat. Now, elemental dragons could eat a little bit of everything. Plant food, rock, fire, air, and, of course, water. So, he had his servants bring the dragon a little bit of everything. They started a large fire for it that it instantly absorbed, burning down every piece of wood, and using the energy to grow just a little bit. They brought a pile of rocks that the dragon, well, ate up as quickly as it could. They brought water, which was drank down immediately, hay, which was enthusiastically swallowed, and, well, they didn't have to bring air, but with a huge breath, the dragon sucked in as much air as it possibly could. It didn't take long for the tiny little dragonling to become larger than a horse, large enough to ride. "Well, what an enthusiastic dragon. Autumn, would you like to name it?" "Oh, well, maybe it can name itself. What's your name?" she asked. My name is Eliara," the dragon revealed. "Nice to meet you, Eliara," Autumn said. "Would you like to go for a ride?" Eliara asked, and Autumn agreed. She jumped atop the dragon, and with a gust of wind, it blasted up and out of the castle, swirling around the walls of the gigantic fortress and flying out over the forests that surrounded it. It felt freeing to have the wind against her face. "Now, Autumn, you are my rider, and I must teach you the way. But there is something I have to say." The other dragons I sensed down there were, well, something felt wrong about them. Oh, really? Autumn said. Maybe it's the control spell. What is this control spell? The dragon asked, and Eliara did her best to explain. The dragon simply listened. Frankly, it already knew all of the information, but it had to be careful how it went about things. You see, Eliara was born with this knowledge. She was born with a mission to connect to the Dragon Princess, and to bring her into the fold of the Dragon Knights. But she knew that if she pushed too much too soon, the likely result would be the control spell being used on her. So Eliara bit her tongue. And over the next few months, she trained the Dragon Princess. She taught Autumn the way of the wind, how to move it using her mind, how to command the wind outside her and within her. Autumn took to it automatically. She already had a small connection to the wind of her own, so when the massive amount of power from Eliara's core was connected to her, she was able to command it almost instinctively. She learned to fly the very same day they started training with the element. Next, they learned the way of nature, and again, since Eliara had already connected to this through her wizard craft, she was easily able to follow the lessons. Within hours, she could summon massive trees out of the ground. She could change the, base structure of a plant to become a different plant on a massive scale. Next, she learned to command the earth, to move the earth at will, to reform it into stone, and reform stone into smaller particles of earth. She learned to bend the water, to rapidly freeze it and melt it at will, and she learned the way of fire, to use that internal heat and energy to blast plumes of fire into the air. Even Eliara was surprised at Autumn's, adeptness at every single thing she did. Her father was absolutely blown away and prouder than anyone could imagine. Watching his daughter surpass him in power was, it was a wonderful thing, and it meant that he could now include her more in all of his missions, all of his dealings. He started to invite Autumn and Eliara on missions with him, and as a result, Autumn got to see the kingdom. They visited the lake area, which was ruled by water dragons, under the Dragon King's command, of course, and employed thousands of villagers who made it their life's work to catch fish, dry them in the sun, and send them to the kingdom. They visited the food forests run by nature dragons, which again employed thousands and thousands of villagers who made it their life's work to farm and bring fruit and vegetables to the kingdom. They visited the mountains where the air dragons trained. They visited the rock quarries where earth dragons, side by side with humans, mined and reformed stone into building materials. And last, they visited the volcanoes, where miners mined coal. Each place that Autumn and Eliara visited made Autumn a little bit more sad. The people who worked for her father didn't seem particularly happy. In fact, they started to look a little overworked. And the way that the dragons and their riders lorded over them, flying above and keeping everyone in order, seemed sort of, well, wrong. But it wasn't until they arrived at the volcanoes and the coal mines that Autumn's mind was made up. Watching all of the people covered in soot march into the mines day after day, choking on ash, it just made Autumn feel wrong. It made her feel sad for the subjects. As they flew over the volcanoes, her father's necklace started to glow. A necklace that she knew was used as a communication device. "What's that?" her father said. "Interesting. Autumn, it looks like we have something else to see to. It would seem that my elementes have captured something very interesting, and I believe it's the perfect opportunity for you to finally use your control spell." Autumn and her father used a blast of air to shoot their dragons forward at incredible speed, up over the clouds of soot, into the bright, warm sunlight above. They blasted forward at almost supersonic speed before her father descended below the clouds. She soon saw a forest below them, a forest surrounding a large lake. And as they got closer, she could make out a number of dragons, her father's team of elemental dragons, the Elementes, and it looked like they'd captured something else. A fire dragon? The two of them glided down to a nice soft landing and climbed off of their dragons. "What do we have here?" her father said as they walked forward. Autumn saw a large fire dragon that was partially encased in stone, ice, and vines all at the same time. Beside it was a human in Dragon Knight armor, the very same armor that Eliara had taught her to summon. Was this another true Dragon Knight? "So, you finally caught one of them," her father said. Very good indeed. And is there a worthy servant nearby?"
Yes, sir," one of the soldiers said. "While we were waiting for you, we went and fetched one of the highest-ranking soldiers in the area, anticipating exactly this."
A soldier in red and black armor walked up beside the man.
"Sir, I am at your service, a loyal knight my entire life."
The man took a knee and bent down towards her father.
"Well, aren't you lucky? Because it's time for you to become a dragon rider. Now, Autumn, as you can see, my soldiers have caught a traitor, someone who threatens the very fabric of what I have created. It's time to remove that natural connection and to command this dragon to follow my loyal soldier. I believe you know the spell."
Autumn swallowed with a deep gulp and looked over at Eliara. Eliara just sort of looked away. She stepped forward toward this fire dragon rider and this, well, free dragon. And she felt that same pulling sensation she'd felt when she first met her dragon. Only this time, it was pulling at her mind, telling her that this situation wasn't right, urging her to do the right thing. She looked at her father. He'd been a nice father, raising her entire life, teaching her everything she knew, giving her anything she could ever imagine. But seeing the kingdom he commanded, hearing the sound of Eliara's voice when she saw the other controlled dragons, had sort of changed her perspective. And now he was asking her to do something that felt wrong. This dragon and this rider had a natural connection. She couldn't possibly mess that up. She closed her eyes. She took a deep breath. And she stomped on the ground, instantly summoning her dragon rider armor and instantly firing 4 bolts of rock in every different direction, connecting with the head of every one of the elementes surrounding her, as well as her father. Each of them fell to the ground in a deep sleep. She reached out for her other elemental powers, grabbed the rock that was holding the kid and the dragon, and allowed it to crumble into dust. She commanded the vines to recede and the water to melt.
Huh? What are you doing?
The person behind the dragon knight armor asked. I'm freeing you. We have to go, quickly. The boy ran to his dragon as fast as he could, and Eliara did the same. She looked one last time at her father before giving her dragon the command and taking to the air. The 4 of them flew as long and as far as they possibly could, following yet another one of those mysterious pulls that Autumn could feel. And as they flew, they spoke. Autumn learned that the boy's name was Ash, and the dragon's name was Cinder. She learned that they'd grown up in the coal mines until he eventually found his dragon egg. The more she learned, the more she knew she'd made the right decision. Though, that didn't exactly make it easier. That night, they landed at the top of a mountain. Eliara used her earth powers to break a huge cave opening inside the mountain and make a large enough area for all 4 of them to hide. She lit a few small fires inside after making little holes in the ceiling for the smoke to exit out of, and she sealed them in. Autumn created 2 beds using nature magic, beds made out of wood, vine, grass, and even some moss to make them nice and soft, and together, she and Ash laid down to rest. She had a lot going through her mind, but she did her best to focus on her breath, to breathe deeply and allow the muscles and the tension in her body to just sort of relax and with each breath, she sunk down deeper into the mattress as her mind began to wander off to thoughts of new dreams and new adventures to come. Good night, everyone.